Hey, it's Kevon Lee, and I'm drinking at Moe's.
This is Drinkin at Mo's, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Mo's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Mo's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, know it's a scream.
All right, everybody, welcome. Drinking a Mo's, Big Mo here. You know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Because YouTube's algorithm is a pain in the Um, don't forget about the audio platforms too. We're on most of the major ones, anyways. Today, I'm excited to have with me Kevon Lee. How you doing?
Good, how about yourself?
Oh, other than the stuff I kind of mentioned before recording, I can't complain too much. I got uh in-laws graduation party this weekend. I got wrestling show my friends are on this weekend, and I got a happy, healthy, almost 5-month-old son, so
All right,
doing pretty good.
congratulations.
Oh yeah, he had a rather eventful entry into the world on Christmas Eve of all days.
Ah.
Yeah, I'll maybe go into that stuff later. But first thing I like to start off with everybody when they first come on, what got you started as a fan, and then what got you making the leap into the business?
Ooh, so when I became a fan, I always tell people generally I've always been a fan, but there's always to me been a specific moment where I actually became a fan. So my older brother, DeAndre, he was a wrestling fan. He always was one. And of course, being a little brother, I always wanted to do everything my big brother
Oh,
did. So he watched wrestling and then he got me into it, but it was more just like at the time just something on TV. And then
yeah.
I wasn't really like a huge fan. I was more of just like doing whatever my brother did. But it got to a point where he got me a bunch of wrestling. Oh, this is not even DVDs. What are they? VCR tapes.
Oh, the
Those.
VCR, yeah,
Yeah.
going way back.
Yep. He got me those. And I remember it was WWE Unforgiven. I think it was Unforgiven 2001. And then he got me No Way Out 2002. And I just remember watching those 24/7, going back and forth, looking at them and just nonstop. But I couldn't understand why I liked it so much. But after a while, he eventually he phased off from it. You know, he grew up and I kept watching it, and the more I grew and got older, I was like, oh, I kind of really like this wrestling thing. Like, I couldn't describe why I liked it, but then as I got older, I kind of realized that it was more my mom. She was a huge wrestling fan too, but she was more like she was a casual watching it on TV, but like I didn't know growing up that she used to go to the events and all that. So like she kind of pushed that down on everybody else. So the more she knew I liked it, the more she kept me watching it and paying attention to it. And then it also sprawled up to like my little brother and then my older brother too. So that's really how it started. It kind of was just like we all collectively like this thing, but I was just like, they like other stuff, but this is really what I like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where I got into it. And then, as being a wrestling fan goes, you try to get into it as much as you can. So I started reaching out to like people at school, see who watches or whatever. And then I think about like it was sixth grade. It was me and my buddy Tyrese. He was the only person I knew who still watched it when it was still kind of uncool because we're in middle school, so like everybody should be watching like football and basketball, and
Yeah.
wrestling's kind of one of those like you think kiddie things when you're not at that age, but it was like me and one of my best friends are still watching it. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I got at least one person to still keep talking to about it and keeping my fandom alive with that. And
Yeah.
basically, as time went on, I was still watching, and then I got down to the rabbit hole of, I watched WWE, but like, what else is there? So one day, my older brother showed me. He's like, "Hey, there's another wrestling channel on TV," and it was Wrestling Society X, which is just crazy.
Oh
Yeah, it's a
boy,
deep pull
yeah.
there. Yeah, I thought I
Taking
would
me
never
back.
see that show again as a kid. I just remember watching every episode because it was on TV and we had it. And from there, I just remember seeing some of the guys on there. Some I knew, some I didn't know. But then, like, I eventually got to the point where I'm on the internet, and this is like as wrestling's becoming popular online, and I'm just like, oh, okay, what is this TNA thing?
Oh.
Yeah, so the rabbit hole just went deeper, and kind of how I kept going.
Oh yeah. No, I get you there. And yeah, oh God, taking me back on the Wrestling Society X stuff.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough. I've had a few people that have gone through there, and going into Lucha Underground,
Yeah.
having a bunch of people going through there. I some people, when doing the intros that I have everybody do, you know, some of them I kind of secretly hope they'll do something from, like Famous B from Lucha Underground. He's one that I tell this story about quite a bit. You know, his thing in Lucha Underground, the vignettes where he looked like a cheesy used car salesman sort of thing,
Yeah.
and he had that like 4, 2, 3, get fame, and I'm
Mhm.
like, in my head, I'm thinking, man, that'd be cool if he did that for his intro, and then he did it without me even asking. I'm like, I'm trying to hold in fanboying out like crazy.
It's
I'm
hard.
like, holy shit, he did it!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and actually, former Lucha Underground champion Marty the Moth.
Mhm.
You got to talk to him, so that was fun. But a couple of things I've been seeing, getting posted for you coming up. As of this recording, I believe some stuff coming up. Water City Wrestling Con. You got a match for the ACW, was a Water City Championship, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And that, man, that's looking like it's shaping up to be one really big event. Like, you see the one of the posters I've seen. I mean, there's JBL,
Hmm.
Shelton Benjamin. I mean, even a guy that I admire in the podcasting world, Chris Van Vliet, on the poster.
That's the one I'm most excited to meet. So,
Oh man, I don't blame you one bit.
yeah,
Man, he's like, I've had people, this was a while back, compare me to him. I'm like, dude, to even be put in the same category, flattered.
it's a huge compliment.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So what are you looking forward to there? I mean, besides meeting Chris Van Vliet, which, I mean, who can really blame you? But you got the big title match. There's gonna be all those big names from JBL. Demolition's gonna be there. You got a lot of famous eyes on you there.
Yeah,
So what are you looking forward to with that whole event?
just looking forward to showing everybody that I'm the real deal as well. Like, I'm still very new and very green into wrestling, but like that these big time moments and pushes I've been getting are well worth it, and that I'm in a complete exception to the rule of, this guy isn't ready for this moment or this guy isn't ready to be pushed like that. But like since I debuted, I've been forced to be pushed as hard as possible, and that's how I wanted it to be, and that's how I assumed it was gonna be. So I was always ready. Pressure creates diamonds. So
That is true. And hell, to get those pushes right out the bat there, that's pretty awesome. Getting in a rather somewhat thriving scene out there in the upper Midwest with Wisconsin. It seems like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Chicagoland area. It's like a Midwest triangle
yeah, it
of
is.
like just a whole uh, mecca of just great independent wrestling promotions, independent wrestling talent. It's just so much to choose from there.
No, it's crazy. Like, since I've started, I've just been like realizing how crazy, like, just traveling and meeting people and then seeing the same people after a while has become. Because, like, I was so used to wrestling just in Oshkosh, where I was just like, okay, some people trained where I wrestle, and then some people are from other places. But then as I started to branch out, I started to realize, hey, there's another group of people here, another group of wrestlers here, another group of wrestlers here, and then like even when you start to go to different states, you start to realize, hey, these same guys are all in the same loop, and we're all doing the same thing, and you start to become really good friends with a bunch of people that happens with. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I know when getting started watching independent wrestling, I was actually stationed in San Diego, but when I got back to the Midwest from where, my home state in Nebraska, I got to getting to know a bunch of the talent in the Omaha, Nebraska area, and then hearing all the stuff about places they're going, like from Nebraska all the way to Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, down to Texas, even. It's like you really realize how much long travels independent wrestling talent can do if they're really putting themselves out there.
Yeah, that was like some of the best advice I got from to one of the closest people I'm friends with in like wrestler, basically life too. Tim Crane and Drake Daniels, they gave me advice when I was still young and still training. They're like, the best thing you could do is get out of the bubble, and that was just the basic loop everybody else is in. They gave me that, and the more I started to realize that, we all started riding around together, doing other shows. The more I realized we formed a nice little clique together. So the more we travel, the more I realize, hey, there's other people that are doing the same. So when I'm complaining about us going 4 hours and thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, we had a long car ride. I'm seeing these two young tag team, Jackson and Valor, who live in Chicago. They're driving all the way to Minnesota where we're at, and they were just at a hotel sleeping for 2 hours, and then they're going back the next day to go wrestle in Chicago again. So I'm just like, I gotta step my game up too. If they're doing this and they're young like that, and I'm like, man, I gotta get going.
Oh yeah, hell, I remember, a couple months ago there was a tag team that did a match down here in Omaha, and then a good friend of mine that moved up to Minnesota, they ended up being in a show literally a day or two, I think the very next day, actually, up there. So it's like, holy crap, okay.
Crazy.
Oh man, yeah, it's nuts thinking about it. And my wife is trying to. Okay, let me pause this real quick.
Mhm.
Uh, we're back. Long, long travels, and yeah, that's what happens when you know somebody forgets your recording. Okay. All right, but yeah, no, long travels, and yeah, I remember. Oh God, you know, I actually one time went up to Fargo, North Dakota from Omaha by myself to go to a friend's show up there. And I actually, through knowing some people up there, I ended up getting to be special guest ring announcer for my friend's match. So that was pretty fun. And then I ended up at the after party getting hammered, and the one and only time I probably ever sang karaoke at the after party, getting a microphone shoved in my face.
Jeez.
That's what happens. But another, you talked about some titles and tag teams. You actually relatively recently had a tag title match in Brew City Wrestling. I've been becoming more and more familiar with them
Yeah.
as of late through some of the people that I've had on. What do you got going on there for people outside of your area?
So, Brew City, I would say it was the first place I worked outside of ACW. Uh, One of my coaches, Nick Colucci, he's my tag partner. We've been doing that we've been champions for a good three
Been a
months
little
now.
bit.
Yeah, it's been a while now. Um, yeah, kind of started working there, and it's just been a fun environment. It's really nice, a different set of fans. So like, those fans really care about what's going on, and they
Mm.
really like to see every little minute thing we do. And it's just been really fun them taking me in. I first debuted there in a 2-on-1 match, and the moment I walked out, like not even when I walked out, I was still in the back, and my music played, and they already were cheering for me. So it was just kind of
Hey.
kind of a special place for me. I love Brew.
Oh, hey. Yeah, no, that's something special when people in a new crowd already know you from maybe stuff online,
Yeah.
or maybe they've attended other shows in the area. That's awesome. I love hearing about stuff like that. And another promotion, I remember I saw the results of this show, and for Midwest All Star Wrestling, you
Yeah.
had a match against a guy that I'm somewhat familiar with because he's been down here to Omaha a little bit. Joey Avalon.
Yeah.
Talk about a beast of a dude right there.
Yeah, he's a man's man, I'll tell you that. It's just great. It's hard to really describe what it's like being in the ring with somebody like him, where he's gonna step your game up, and he's also gonna keep you on your toes. He's just like, wrestling aside, he's just a really good person too. He just really brings you in and makes you feel like you're part of the family as well. Um, when I wrestled him first actually at Frontline Pro, which
Mm,
was, and pretty sure it was in February, and it was right as like when I first started wrestling. I kind of was, I think it was like a year, and I kind of wrestled everybody in the scene who I really wanted to wrestle right away, which is very rare for people who are new as I am.
yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, checklist, checklist, checklist. Oh,
mm,
awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm sitting at a frontline show. Me and uh, the promoter, Ben McCoy, great guy by the way, sitting there. We're talking, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm thinking about you and Avalon next month." And I'm like, "Whoa, that's big," because none of the guys who are in my crop or like in my little area for training and like who've been to ACW Training Academy got to really wrestle me, except a few guys. So like,
yeah,
I'm just sitting there like, okay, this is a huge test, but it's also like a test I'm ready for it too. Like,
yeah,
because at the end of the day, I feel like you have to be as confident as the next guy, and I would say I'm more confident than most people are. I just always had an ability to flip that switch and know how good I can or know how good I will be.
yeah.
So I'm just like, the whole week, I'm just, hey, yeah, I'm not worried about it. And I just remember everybody coming up to me, hey, yeah, you're wrestling Avalon. Oh, you're wrestling Avalon. Oh, how do you feel? How do you feel? And I'm just like, brushing it off. Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Deep down, I'm like, holy shit. I don't know what I'm about to do against this man. Like, because we met before, and it was just like, okay, but we never touched in the ring or anything. And like
Mm,
one time, we were in a battle royal, and he got out right as I was coming in, It was the only interaction we've ever had, like wrestling wise. So yeah, we had the match, and it was easily my best match. I was so laser focused on like I wanted to end this whole thing about like the big guys are always like the laziest and like they never want to do anything. And I think the way I wrestle, I do the complete opposite of what everybody think a big man will do. I
Mm.
think that's a big part of my appeal is I don't like to just not do anything because I didn't get into wrestling just to sit on the sideline and
Yeah.
collect a paycheck. And
Hmm.
if somebody's never seen me before, I want them to be at least excited they've seen a big guy do something cool. So when we
Oh yeah.
wrestled, my whole mentality was let's put on a show for the fans and then let's give them something they've never seen. So let alone I didn't know. I get to the venue, we're opening the show. So that's even most people would crumble in a scenario like that,
Start
but I
off
was
with a
just all
bang,
for it.
right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We started the show the banger, and yeah, it was just crazy because he's just so much better than most people. So yeah, and then the second time we wrestled, which was at MAW, was my first time there, which was really awesome. Originally, I thought I was supposed to be in a tag, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I can still show what I can do in a tag. Like, I'm not worried about that. I'm
Yeah.
tag champ. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, that's fine. And then I see the graphic drop, probably the same one you saw. I was just like, oh, Kevon versus Joey Jet Avalon. I was like, oh shit, all right, round two. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just looking forward to it, and I was just like, okay, this is awesome because me and him work really well together. He's just the perfect yin and yang with each other. So
Oh yeah, and that's what I gravitate towards some of those intense personas, and you know, you get some big guys out there that definitely very intense, and some big guys out there that can definitely do some stuff that you wouldn't think the big guys would really be doing. Like, good lord, like thinking they're doing stuff like cruiserweights, really.
yeah,
And I thoroughly enjoy that. So I have two categories here. I got a name game and some random questions. First, name game here. I name off some people, you give me some quick thoughts on them. And each of these people, like I said, I try to theme it towards a guess as much as possible. Each of these guys, great big men in wrestling, some current and some, some past ones. Throw in some past ones in there.
perfect.
First, so I give you the name, first thoughts that pop into your head. First one, a very entertaining individual right now. And I mean, he's pretty much always been an entertaining individual. Otis.
Ah, uh, I would say a very entertaining athlete. He doesn't get enough credit for some of the feats of strength that he could do, and then
Oh
just
yeah.
being entertaining as he is as well. Like he's been employed at WWE for a minute now. And people forget like he's actually like from what his character originally was to now like it's
Oh yeah.
progressed so much, and he's not just like a big guy that doesn't do much. He can do the worm. Like people forget like
He
that
did
is
that.
pretty impressive, and he's got a belly too. So like it's impressive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, oh god, he's so damn funny.
Hmm.
All right, next up, a guy I've actually got to meet on one occasion, and actually one of my signed figures up top you can't really see right now is actually of his. Keith Lee.
Ah, yeah. Uh, uh, I stole most of his moves.
Can't
Yeah.
blame you one bit there.
When I first started training, there was three guys who I was told that I should probably start watching, and it was Samoa Joe, it was Vader, and then it was Keith Lee. And Samoa Joe's he was already my favorite wrestler. Vader became one of my favorite wrestlers. Like I've always known of Vader, but like once I
Yeah.
started training, it was like, oh, I love this guy. And then Keith Lee was always like you know, I've always watched him because around the time he started blowing up is when I really started getting into wrestling again. Like it was perfect timing because when I started looking for all the stuff I wanted to do, I'm like, half the stuff he can do, I can do too. So like, I'm just thinking like he's over here doing backflips and all this. I'm like, all right, probably not all that, but like the strength stuff I can do. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with that kind of stuff, and like I'm pretty athletic, like how he is too. So
Oh yeah, and some of the stuff that his that jump out to me right off the bat is that famous footage of him basically yeeting Adam Cole into the crowd
yeah,
is like all of a sudden, and Adam Cole goes flying. Or one that I actually got to witness in person was at Sammy Callahan's promotion, Wrestling Revolver.
yeah,
It was when him and Swerve were AEW tag champs and they did a match there. And there was a point where that over the head double slap that he'd
yeah,
sometimes do, he did that to a guy. And then they, I laugh about it to this day. They all of a sudden, like, oh, like he was dead. And then they put RIP the guy up on the screen and put, and you know that song from the oh god, the set that, oh god, what is it, the sad dog commercials where it's like in the arms
Oh,
of...
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
They
what you're
started playing that, and
talking
I was on the floor laughing like, oh my god, that is hilarious.
Yeah, the chop itself just sucks. Overhand, like, and I started doing that a while ago. Like one of my other buddies, Big Rick, he does it all the time. So I was just doing the regular one hand. He does the two because he's a big Keith Lee guy too as well. So I've seen him do that countless times. I've seen Keith Lee do it all the time. And I don't know. I'm good. I wouldn't. One's enough. One hand is enough.
oh, oh yeah, oh god, and then you see matches out there like, I'm wanting to say it was Samoa Joe and one of my personal favorites, Tomohiro Ishii, where they were chopping each other in like
Chops. Yeah.
damn near like hamburger meat by the time they were done.
And that's the thing too. Some people can't get into matches like that. That's my favorite kind of matches. Just
Oh
showing
yeah,
like who's really the real man in the kind of match, like that kind of match. So
yeah.
yeah, like I
Oh,
love me a good chop fest. Most dudes who are wrestling aren't gonna want to do it, but I love meeting another fellow sick
I
in the
was.
brain individual who's willing to do that and hang and bang. That's what I like.
Oh man.
That and a bunch of forearms and clotheslines. That's
Oh
ring
yeah.
bang.
There's something about two guys that are known for that sort of strength that can really throw those or the clotheslines, and then they just go at it at like that for like a minute or so. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's something.
it was great.
Another guy, next guy on the list here for the name game, talking about feats of strength. I feel like I'd have to put this guy on here. The world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Yeah. Uh, a little bit of how do I put it? An idol.
Mm.
I love Mark Henry. He was always one of those guys growing up who I was always compared to. I always got the hey, you look like Mark Henry jokes. So like little did I'm not gonna feed into anybody trying to make fun of me about him, but like little do they know I'm like I love Mark Henry. uh, one of my first T-shirt designs was the same one he had, but it was just my face. Yeah, no, I love Mark Henry. The thing with
Oh,
him was I used to hate him as a kid, could not stand him, but it was always because he was beating up my favorite wrestlers. And then
mm.
Hall of Pain,
Oh,
I
the Hall
watched
of Pain
every
run.
step of
Oh,
it. Yeah, that was I really hated him at the time, but like looking back at it, I really loved him because it was just he was beating up Randy Orton. I just couldn't stand it. Same with Big Show and Daniel Bryan. I was just, but it was really good though because I never
oh,
seen him in that type of light being pushed like that. Like he always had his little moments here and there, but like for a while from like 2002 to like 2006. He wasn't really doing much, no. But I remember when he came back
Mm,
and he did his whole thing with Batista, where he was on top of the cage and all that. That's when I really was like, okay, this is about time. And then he did his stuff with ECW, and then it was like, okay, they always were like willing to push him enough, but not to the standard where he was doing the Hall of Pain. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's just all around great dude too as well.
Oh yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about him. I'm like, if I know little, I've attempted to ask other people that have been involved with Busted Open about, come on, there's a contract thing that makes it. It's whatever. He would be one guy I would love to have on.
Yeah.
Like that would be like a bucket list, if you will, name right there.
He's a great interview. I listen to no matter what he's in, I'm gonna listen to it. But like when
No,
if it's like a full length interview of him, I'm gonna sit there and just listen to the whole thing because he always has something interesting and a great take about everything too.
oh yeah, he has just some great stuff to say. All right, next up, last but not least here, I'm wanting to say I didn't realize. Hey, I lucked out with this one because I'm wanting to say you're wearing his shirt,
Yeah,
Bam Bam Bigelow.
yeah, that's my guy.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh man, loved him. I finally up top got a figure of him up. The only ones that I keep out of the box are for my ones that have passed away.
mhm.
I got him right up front.
Yeah, he's just like I said, an innovator. I just remember when I first started watching him, it was really young. I was like maybe 7. I remember seeing clips, and I just remember seeing like the bald head with the tattoos.
The flame tattoos on his head.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
no,
just
that drew
something
me
about
in.
it is just the appeal of his tattoos, and then like just seeing him do a cartwheel and all of this, and like I remember watching him in WWE, like watching old like DVDs and all that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh okay, like he was pretty good, and then like the more I
the
got to see
ECW
other
stuff.
stuff, or like
Yeah,
ECW run, and then like his stuff with New Japan where he was tagging with
oh
Vader,
yeah.
and it's just like even his him going off the top rope, I do the same splash he does, so. It's just some of the little stuff he used to do that most people wouldn't expect a big guy like him to do. Is kind of
Oh
where I
yeah.
get most of my ideas when I go to wrestle. I'm just like, okay, like if somebody's gonna see me wrestle for the first time, they're gonna see something they wouldn't expect me to do. So like whenever I see his matches, I'm always like, yeah, he can do the typical big guy like feats of strength, like the little he could throw a guy around, push him around, but like he also can make everybody else he's wrestling with look really good too.
Oh
And that's
yeah.
what I really like about him. People don't really speak about that, but he also will make anybody in the ring look really good too.
Oh, most definitely. I it just speaks to, like I said, I gravitate towards those intense personas. The matches in ECW that he had with Taz
Yep.
were like the one where they went through the ring and then
Mhm.
they're on the
The stage.
entrance ramp where
Yeah.
they end up going through that. And it's like, oh my gosh, you don't
Yeah.
like, you always wonder, you know, what, how would it look if the way some people throw people around. It's like, oh man, they could probably almost go through that thing, and then you see
Yeah.
it happen, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, because I'll be like, oh, imagine if that was a big guy who did that and he was doing that.
Yep. Oh man, great stuff. And then you see him in movies like Major Pain.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
had the DVD as a kid too, so I remember seeing him and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a wrestler. Like
So yeah,
that used to be
man.
big for me back then.
Oh man, when I first saw that movie and it got to that part, yeah, I jumped up like, I know
Yep.
that guy.
I know him, yeah.
Oh man. Yep. Great memories. And you know what? One more. A guy that I've actually had on, one of the talent that I've been lucky enough to have on from the pre Tony Khan era Ring of Honor,
Mm.
Beer City Bruiser.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, he was fun. He was a fun interview and a great like not not so much flying around like a cruiserweight sort of big guy, but definitely like I enjoy. Yes, I enjoy the flying around, but I also enjoy that old school smash mouth, just knock the snot out of you style. That
yeah.
he is very much that.
And that's the thing too, Matt. He used to tag with my tag partner now, Nick Colucci. So I always used to hear stories about him from him. And before I knew they tagged together, I was watching Ring of Honor at that time. So it's just like a really full circle moment because like I always think like when it comes to wrestling, I'm super detached from like
Yeah.
the areas everybody's from, because I always just watch it. But like when I remember watching my Ring of Honor, I'm like, huh, the Beer City Bruisers are a thing, and I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember seeing the tag team on Ring of Honor. They came with the keg and all that, and then
The gigs, yeah.
yeah, my first day of training, I'm talking to my coach, and he's just like, yeah, I was tag partners with for a long time, and I was like, really? It went down a whole rabbit hole of their stuff too, and I'm just like, oh yeah, didn't not realize that.
that,
Small world.
that
It's a small world, man.
oh god, yeah. I've had instances of that just from different interactions I've had where I'm like, holy crap, okay. And
Yeah.
then I go and I have going on a tangent here. I've had moments where I ended up getting recognized out in town by somebody that I don't really remember,
Hmm.
but they were like, "Oh, hey!" I was actually at the zoo here in Omaha with my family and my wife, and my wife was like, "What's that about?" I said, "Oh, they recognized me from the show," and I'm like,
Yeah.
and the look on my parents' face because oh, that little wrestling stuff or the the little podcast, but then seeing them like, oh wow, he's actually getting recognized. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that
You'd be surprised, man. Like, I just remember when I had my second match, and it was I forgot where I was at. Oh, I went to go stop at a Quick Trip. I went to just go grab an energy drink, and this is 6:30 in the morning. I'm just getting ready to leave to go to work, and I'm what is an hour away from where I wrestle. And I'm like, I'm going to ordering on the guy goes, hey, good luck in your match this weekend. Like, next weekend. And I'm just like, what? And like, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just like, what do you mean? He's like, I was like, what? He's like, good luck in your match. He's like, yeah. He's like, you just debuted recently, right? And I was just like, yeah, I did. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I saw it on Facebook. It was like, you looked familiar. And I was like, yeah. I was like, he's like, you're a wrestler, right? And I was like, yeah, I am. And it was just really funny that like you never really know who really knows of you until you run across something like that. And like
yeah,
it's becoming less like shocking to me now if somebody knows I'm a wrestler because I look completely different than most people. So like I get
yeah,
that all the time just in regular life, but like sometimes I'll get oh yeah, you're the guy who wrestles. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like it's not really a big deal anymore, but it's more depending on where I am kind of thing now.
oh yeah, no, I get you there. Now I got some random questions, some wrestling related, some not, some having nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far.
Perfect.
First one, the one I like to, that's not so random because I like to lead off with this one. Craziest in match moment for you?
Craziest in match moment. I do have a really good one. So this was mm, I'm trying to think. Maybe not even 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I'm having a match with one of my buddies. Well, it's just funny that I'm wrestling him at Water City Wrestling Con this Saturday, Jaden Mercer. I wrestled him at Brew City, and we were. This is I'm still kind of new-ish there. I think this is my third match there, and the crowd's fully behind me. They're on my side for this, and we're having our match, and we're going through everything, and I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of hitting everything where I'm supposed to, everything's flowing, but I'm just like, hey, got this really weird feeling in the side of my leg, and I didn't know what it was. I just knew something felt weird, and we're having a match, everything's going well, right? And there's a spot at the end where I got attacked by his manager JP after, and he hit me with a kendo stick, and then he pulmonized my leg after. I get to the back, and I was like, "Why does my leg hurt?" And like I'm wearing a singlet, and I'm like, "Huh." So I go get ready to change, take everything off. And I'm sitting there, and I wondered what like once I take my stuff, I'm like, "What is this?" I wrestled the entire match with a phone charger in the back of my singlet the whole time. Because I forgot
Wow.
when I was getting ready to change, I went to go put it in the side of my singlet
Oh,
because
and
normally,
then
yeah, normally in my singlet I'll put like my elbow pad,
yeah,
like something quick, and like I forgot to take it out. So I'm just wondering like why something like it's like feel like it's scratching the back of like my upper like hamstring. Yeah, and a phone charger in my pocket the whole time. Well, in the back of my singlet that whole time. We did so many spots and all this, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, that's so crazy.
that would fit. That
Yeah,
would definitely fit.
yeah, it was.
I oh wow. Yeah, I've seen a match where a guy's and this guy got shit for this for a while, but he ended up actually having a phone in his pocket during a match and it fell out. And yeah, he you know what? I still don't think some people let him live that one down. But man, me being a fan of the death match style, the hardcore, GCW does a lot of great stuff. But first, my crazy, probably, well, one of the craziest things that I've ever personally witnessed was my first ever death match that I got to see in person.
Mhm.
It ended by them taking four folding chairs and bridging like two panes of glass on there. And then somebody brings in lighter fluid and they light the glass on fire. You,
Yeah,
you know,
deathmatch wrestling is something, man.
yeah, most definitely. All right. Now, we talked a bit about long travels,
Yeah.
road trip playlists, because a lot of people on long travels don't really want to be flipping around to different radio stations. So, making up a long playlist, what are some songs you would have on a road trip playlist?
Okay, so I separate this into like two different things. So if I'm on the road, I'm like driving by myself. Normally the playlist would be the whole time. It's literally just I have a playlist called Stimulate, and it's just one that just keeps me driving. And it's just like a bunch of music that barely has words or like barely has anything. It's just more so I can keep the thought in my head about what I'm actually going to do later. So I'm
Mm,
not distracted by driving or like being on my phone or anything. So it's literally just a bunch of like house music or just a bunch of like slow like cloud rap kind of music. So it's just stuff like that. But if I'm sitting in a car with more than one person, me, somebody else, or whoever, I'm literally just playing what I play in the gym. And it's
mhm.
just it'll be a bunch of metal, it'll be a bunch of rap, and it's literally just a mixture of both. So you'll get the best of both worlds because
Oh, yeah.
I like to keep the I like to keep being hyped the whole way through because I know if I'm sitting there and I'll just got background music for somebody else, they could at least feel the same thing I'm feeling or whatever.
Mm,
And like, I also realize if I'm sitting in a car with somebody else, I can't really listen to a podcast or something I
yeah.
want to actually listen to because like they're gonna talk, I'm gonna talk, I want to hear them speak, and it's like I don't want to miss something from a podcast too. So like,
Yeah.
it'll be that, or like if I'm riding by myself, it'll be a podcast as well. So
Mm,
more than likely a wrestling related podcast. So
mm. Oh yeah, no, I can relate. I know. Oh God, I listen to a little bit of everything from country stuff to metal to some rap, not so much, but I, supporting the fellow Midwest guy Tech Nine. I love,
Yeah.
I just love, much like I love the intense personas in wrestling. His delivery on his lyrics is just intense,
Hmm.
and I love it. I love it. Oh God, what was the song? Oh God, there's few songs right now that I've been heavily listened to of his. Demons that I think Shane Mercer actually uses in his entrance.
Is he
I
really?
The Iron Demon.
Mm.
So I'm like, I remember, I thought I heard it one time, but then oh God, Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Love. You know what? I used to give that guy crap. I used to give that guy crap because I said he looks like a fat Post Malone.
Yep, that's what everybody was saying.
And I mean, not that he doesn't, but there's a song of his that was on the sequel, the Twisters,
Yeah.
the Dead End Road or whatever. That, like, I don't know. There's something about that song that just gets you hyped up.
Mhm.
I don't know. It does it for me, anyways. I got a whole list that when I'm going somewhere where I need that little extra, like, oh, let's go sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's on there. All
I need
right.
that, especially if it's nighttime too.
Oh, or early in the morning because I work days and I'm not a morning person,
Mhm.
but I'll take working days over like evenings any
Oh,
any,
easy.
any day. All right, now I'm not exactly a picky eater. I mean, obviously here, but I do have foods that I just like. Nope, not
Yeah.
not touching them. What is the least favorite food of yours?
Cottage cheese. Not a
Okay,
fan. I've had it twice in my life. You'll never get me to like cottage cheese. I just not a fan. Don't like the texture. Don't like the taste. It just reminds me of vomit. Not a fan. I've tried to like it. I've tried to like it. I've tried to mix it in with other foods. It stands out too much. Not a
yeah,
fan.
yeah, no, I can relate. I Younger, I used to not mind it so much. Now, no,
Yeah.
no.
That there's and then I'm not a picky eater whatsoever either. Like I'll try whatever. Like
Right.
like it's just that and then refried beans. Not a fan either. Just
Yeah,
never understood the concept. Never like I like
yeah.
beans. Like, I love beans. Refried just not a thing. I don't know. Just it always just tastes. It makes everything taste off. I don't know why.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
My family gives me crap because a lot of them love deviled eggs. I can't.
See, and I get that. Like my mom makes really good deviled eggs, which is a thing. Like I don't mind them, but as I've got older, one of the things where I slowly am not a fan of anymore. Like if it's there, I'm not gonna eat it, and then if it's the only thing, I'm still probably not gonna eat it. So,
Yeah, I don't know. Much like you said with cottage cheese, I think it's a texture thing. Is like,
yeah,
and I'll still remember the one time my family actually got me to try one, and I about like, and I'm not even kidding, like, like,
yeah.
oh, was not good. That and this other one, I can tolerate when it's already mixed into other things, but by itself, no. Peas.
Okay. So, and that was another thing. I got a buddy. He mixes peas and cottage cheese together,
Oh,
eats it just like that. And he slowly made me not a fan of peas anymore. I can't just eat just a thing of peas, like at all.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
No,
can
I
eat it if
can't
it's mixed
either.
with something else. Like I have no problem. But like
Yeah,
by itself, I'm good.
yeah. If it's mixed in with like a casserole or like chicken pot pie or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I
okay, I
can't eat
can.
it as a side. Like I'm
Yeah,
just
no, no,
like my
can't.
wife Aaliyah, she does it all the time. She loves it. And I'm just like, I'm good. I'll just give me the main course. Like I don't need this.
Yeah, no. There's vegetables that I used to not like, but there's some way about the way my wife makes them. It's like, okay, I can do it that way.
Yeah,
But yeah, no. But outside of that, not so much.
yeah.
Brussels sprouts was one of them.
Really?
I used to hate them, but then once my wife made them for me, some however the hell way she did it, I'm like, okay, I can do them like this.
Yeah. See, I was like that with surprisingly avocados. My wife, she made the same thing. She made me avocado toast, and I was just like, you could have just put butter on here instead. I'm like, this kind of sucks. Like, I don't know what's the point of it. And then like after a while, I'm just like, that actually isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like now I have a damn near an avocado every other day or every day basically. So
Okay.
yeah, that was one big one where I was just like, yeah, I'll never eat avocados. There's no point. And then like after a while, like she was having it all the time. That I was like, you know what? Like I realized like what avocados are used for, and I'm like, I like guacamole. I like this. I like that. And I'm like, I don't mind it in certain food. And I'm like, I kind of just like it. Like,
No, I can understand you there. All
yeah.
right. Now with the name of a show like I have, I feel like I have to ask this one. Favorite drink, alcoholic or otherwise? Because I like to tell people just because it says drinking at most does not mean that it has to be alcoholic. I know there's plenty of people out there that don't drink.
Hmm. My favorite drink is a tequila OJ.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's delicious.
Yeah, I normally get a lot of shit for it, but it's just the fact that when I first was able to go to a bar, my buddy Bernard, he bought me a drink and it was a tequila OJ, and I was just like, "Huh, this is something different." And I'm like, it's nice because like you don't really taste the regular like alcohol in there, and it's just after it'll get you to the point where you need to get
It'll get you
to.
there.
Don't get me wrong, it'll get you there, but it was just like it's gonna get you there without you tasting it. So,
Oh, yeah. There's definitely those tequilas that
yep,
you mix it in with something like that,
and you
or
know it's in
or a
there.
margarita, and you will not be able to tell there's any damn alcohol in it until you're about three or four in, and then you're like, hello.
I'm a huge tequila guy though.
Oh,
Tequila.
um, two of my favorites. I mean, I do enjoy some of the fancier stuff out there, but uh, the one that George Clooney used to own, I think he used to own it. Casamigos,
Yeah,
great.
number one for me.
And then the Rocks one, Terramana.
Never had it. I haven't had
So
it yet.
it's like just as smooth as Casamigos, but in most instances cheaper.
Yeah, I
And
gotta
oh
try
man,
it.
it's so good. Much tequila OJ, I like coming with tequila, either tequila lemonade.
I've never done that. That actually sounds really good.
It is pretty delicious.
Like I've been since I've been cutting, I've been doing like when I do drink, I'll do tequila water lime. So I do that a lot. But normally I've been trying to stay away from like the extra calories with the orange juice and all that, like because I'm a wrestler, so I should probably care about that kind of stuff now. But when I feel like letting loose, then I'll have my tequila OJ.
I gotcha. I gotcha. All right. Last but not least, here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
There's a lot. Some of the best advice I ever got was from my coach, Dylan Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. That was one of my coaches too. He gave me some advice a long time ago when I first started training. He was just like, he was basically explaining you only are as important as you make yourself feel that you are. Because I got to a point where when I was training, and he was just like, like you're going to be a really big deal one day. It's only going to come up to you feeling like you are. So it's always come back to that. confidence is key thing, and then believing in yourself. So he gave me that advice, and I always think like whenever I go to preset to people who are new as well, it's like your time is soon. It's a lot sooner than you think. You just got to believe that you're meant to be where you are. Because if you don't, you're only going to be stuck in the same circle, in the same cycle, and you'll be like the hamster in the wheel where you're not going far because you're stuck in the same thing. So that was the advice I got, and then some advice from I got from Brody King when I met him was keep going. And you guys think like when you hear stuff like that, like whatever, people are just gonna say that for what like just simple advice. But then like when I was thinking about it at the time, he was at a convention. We had the Water City Wrestling Con, and he wrestled my other coach, Nick Colucci, who's my tag partner now. And he gave me that advice while I was working his little booth while he's taking pictures with everybody and everything. And I got to sit there and talk to him. And he's just like, yeah, just keep going. The best thing, he's like, you already have a lot that's going for you. You just got to keep moving forward. He's like, the more you put in, the more the wrestling business will give out to you because it's a giving business. You just got to be willing to take it. And
Mhm.
I, when I heard that, it kind of blew my mind because I'm just sitting there like, this is a guy who I was watching on Ring of Honor pre-pandemic and all that. And I was just he's just here now and he's wrestling my coach. And I'm just like really small world moment there where it's just like, oh, this is really cool. And then let alone he gave me a bunch of cool memorabilia and stuff he's got, like all his merch and stuff. So I'm just like, oh, this is really cool. And he didn't have to do any of that. Like he just
Yeah.
it was just being a nice guy. So, so
Oh yeah. No, he's definitely one of my personal favorites. God damn, I got a figure of his one of his AEW figures around here somewhere.
yeah, I
I,
got two of his. So
oh yeah. No, I got a lot. Way more than I really thought I did. But that's another thing. Yeah. Wait. What was I thinking? Damn it, I'm getting tongue tight here. Danhausen.
yeah,
I got a signed one of his. I I don't like buying them pre-signed. Like they I like buying the figure, taking it to the person.
yeah.
Like I have actually, well, recently debuted in WWE. Jeff Cobb, I got one of his. I got oh,
Yeah,
I got
check out the beats.
I got a couple Matt Cardonas. I got Lance Archer.
Yeah,
So I got some good stuff. I'm pleased with my collection that I got so far. Probably not done, although my wife probably wants me to be.
yes. I mean, my collection is literally just Brody King's signature. He wrote his saying, and then his wrote his name on a what was it, like 8x10.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
where he was all bloody and he had the thumbtack in his belly and everything. It's
Oh, I
pretty
love
cool.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
Facebook, you can find me at Kevon Lee. Just Kevon Lee. You'll find it. You'll see my
Yeah.
face as a profile picture. Instagram, Kevon Lee X. And then on Twitter X thing, whatever that is, Kevon Lee X.
All right. We'll get
Yeah.
all of that in the description. Thank you again for taking the time to talk to me and Matt. It's been fun.
Oh
I
yeah.
wish you well this coming weekend with Water City Wrestling Con. This episode will be coming out after, so who knows? Maybe we'll be seeing another championship coming home with you there. So, best of luck. I look forward to hearing the results.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And now that fucking issue with the damn button.